All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I'm really excited. We are going to be going over a great deal, 100% occupied. And we're going to be just besides the deal, we're going to be covering things like why this type of a deal in the market cycle that we're in. When multifamily, they're saying multifamily is bad, is we're excited when they say things like that because there's a lot of good opportunities for good operators. So in saying that, there's going to be some people who don't know me. So I'm going to do a quick intro. My name is Marco Barbaro. I'm investor relations, marketing, leasing for Sharpline. And I also am leader of a mastermind called MIH Mastermind. I have about 280 students, 47 total multifamily deals, 28 generational wealth, and 19 syndications, I think 20 now. And started investing when I was 23 years old. So I turned 50 this year. So that's how much I believe in multifamily. I've been through the recession of 2007 to 11 and been through 2023, which was a lot of work getting ready for 23 and 24. And like we declared it basically a year of operations. We have a great team. One of our advantages is we self-manage, which is probably the biggest advantage if you're going to invest with syndicators, because we have total control of the deal. No matter how good third party is, they will never, like when I ran my restaurant, I was the person running the restaurant, not a manager or somebody else. So in saying that, I'm going to head right over to, I want to introduce something exciting. We have a new member of Sharpline. We have Lauren Zeminski. So Lauren, please say hello. And I get to work with her all the time. And I get to bother her every day or every other day on the phone, which is awesome. So Lauren, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Lauren Zeminski. I'm excited I just joined Sharpline a few months ago after my husband and I have invested with Sharpline hundreds of thousands of dollars for years. So I've obviously believe in Sharpline tremendously on a personal level and was very excited to professionally join the team. So I'm here. I have pinned my email address to the top of the chat. So if you have any questions at any point, please go ahead and copy my address and send me a note.
All right, awesome. So Lauren, share the first slide, see where we start out and
Uh,
hey Chris, take it over, dude.
All right. All right. So I'm not sitting in my kitchen, although this kitchen is pretty badass. I wish it was my kitchen because I'm sitting in Springfield, Missouri at one of our projects. Some of you are invested in it. This is the SOL project, 40 unit A class in Springfield, the walking distance in downtown. And came here because we finished one unit that we're going to do as super luxury. And hopefully, I'm pretty sure we'll get it. Over $2,000 we're going for, hopefully 2,200, but check it out. I know I'm small in everybody's uh, window here, but this is engineered quartz that's mimicking marble. And we did it up the backsplash in the back. This thing kicks ass. I'm telling you, this thing is so good. So I got 5G Wi-Fi and I'm going to do the presentation from here. Sharpline did this with our in-house team. For quality execution, because it's real hard to get these bonehead third-party vendors that charge you 5 times the price to get execution done, and we do it ourselves. So we have the capability to do high luxury, and this thing looks great. Anyway, yeah, let's go to the next slide. All right, so we'll talk about some wins first. The rates came down, everybody. You know, rates were really high, preventing us from accessing any of the created equity that we did and created over the years from some of these projects. When you have high rates and you do a refinance, you just can't access as much of that equity as you would hope, and then you lock into a higher rate as well. So we were patient. And now we have a ton of refis in the works, people. We have Hidden Hills, that's Megan Lane down there. You got Worthington Court. And for some of you on here, that's Oklahoma City, 97% occupied. And we're in the process of refinance. We'll give you updates when it happens, but we're just gonna give you details when it occurs, but we've done it. And we have 3 more refis coming at us this year on some other projects, but we wanted to just talk about some of the wins. It's the time to refi. The rates are here. Go ahead on the next slide. So some recent closes too. We weren't as active as past years, while we're still very active, which is why we're still getting these great deals. Because when you're active, the brokers know and the sellers know that come to you direct, and the off-market opportunities that come to you because they know that Sharpline is the real deal and that we close. So some of these recent closes are, we have a 40-unit JV, one of the first Sharpline JV we've ever done. This was a super ultra heavy lift, all townhomes, 3-bed, 2-bath with a garage. We're getting some really good rents. We're leasing them up. We're doing heavy turns right now to fill them up. And then we also closed on an awesome deal in Kansas City as well. 144 unit CC plus class. It was highly occupied. We got that deal because of our relationships. And the next deal that we're showing you tonight is because of that deal. Because
Just for
people know that
people,
Sharpline closes.
just for people, just real quick, the 40 in JV, which is awesome. There's only 5 of us in that deal for 1.5 million. So it's everybody put down a nice, chunk of money down on that deal, and we were able to close it with ourselves in house.
Go ahead to the next slide, please. All right, just so there's a lot of repeat investors with us on this call, so we're grateful to you for all the repeat investors over the years. That means a lot to us. But for those of you that don't know who Sharpline is, we do need to tell you who we are and that we can showcase that we do know what we're doing. We've been doing this for 10 years now each. Krista and I have been partners for about 10 years now. We've done 1,700 unit transactions. We have 9 full cycle multifamily deals, which means we purchased, value added, refinanced, and sold successfully. With the help of Marco, when he joined on the team, we've raised over $70 million of equity in the last 5 years, 7 years. It's been quite a journey. We have 160 million under management. And just 3 years ago, we started self-managing because after a long run of using third-party managers, because that's all we could do, and we were successful at it, we had a lot of successful exits with it, we wanted the control. We wanted to be able to pivot when we needed to. We wanted to pivot when we wanted to, and to take advantage of certain market fluctuations and advantages. Sometimes when you want to do a luxury unit like this, it allows us to because we self-manage. I'm a tech guy by trade. I was a tech programmer for a long time, and then I became a tech executive, and I take those skill sets to Sharpline. Krista, tell everybody about yourself. We are both 50-50 partners, managing principals, and we have a great partnership where we overlap our responsibilities and we concentrate on our verticals. Krista, go ahead.
Thanks, Chris. I always get like a wave of exhaustion when you read this slide with all these bullets of how much we've accomplished. I'm like, woo, wow. But anyway, thanks for the intro. My name's Krista, and I was an attorney by trade. I'll apologize in advance if any attorneys have joined us, because I have to say that I didn't like what I was doing, and it's why I transitioned into real estate back in 2009. I started out buying homes and distressed assets on Long Island and rehabbing them and selling them. So that's how I started out back in 2009, and I transitioned into multifamily in 2012, 2013. I probably purchased my first multifamily. Then met Chris. We met when we both joined a mentorship program when he lived on Long Island as well. So we were both trained by the same person who is a very stand-up guy that lives on Long Island as well, really very successful in this field, and taught us well. And we have the same perspective and the same approach, and I think that's why we get along so well. So really excited to be back in acquisition mode this year, and excited to be on this webinar. And I want to do a shout out right now. We have our new VP of Asset Management, Sarah Robertson, on the call with us. And we have our new VP of Field Operations, Isaac Holtz, on the call. So excited. These are stars in our organization, and they've joined this webinar as well. So just wanted
I want to add that that's a great shout out. The reason we are able to get to these refinances is because obviously you have to have strong financials and show an upward trajectory and it's through their leadership, and thus why they are being elevated in the company. So we have achieved higher occupancy than we have in the past because of everybody working together and because of Sharpline Community's self-management. We kick ass, and it's a lot of work by everybody to do it, and we are taking advantage of these rates. Thankfully, we are able to. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Next slide.
All right, so let's get into why you guys are here. I get it. Enough about us. Let's talk about the deal. This opportunity came to us and was awarded to us because of our successful execution and purchase of Flats at Wildwood, the 144 unit. We are starting to get access to very serious sellers who have very serious assets, and they only want to deal with very serious buyers. And that does not mean overpaying. Don't think that. That's not how it works. Krista and I have sold properties, and we have definitely gone with the lower price because we knew the person would come through. This seller actually is going through and selling 2 other deals, and they're getting retraded, and the buyers are not performing. And this particular property had bids higher, but they went with Sharpline because they know we will execute. So this fantastic opportunity right here came to us in the Kansas side of Kansas City, which is a growing part of the MSA and considered the most superior part of the area to invest. And we're happy to finally get into Johnson County, JOCO, as they call it. 1988 built B class, all classics, people. All classics. That means no upgrades in the units have been done. And this thing is 100% occupied with seriously a 0.5% of delinquency. Okay. So this is true B class, 100% occupied. You hear everybody talk about it. If it's 100% occupied, then the rent is low. Okay, here we go. That's it. That's what this deal is all about. And we get to self-manage it. So take a look at these pictures. They're awesome. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so projected returns, you can take a look at the property a little bit here. Just have to do some housekeeping and a little bit of the technicality here. This is called the 506B offering. What this means is you don't have to be an accredited investor. However, you do have to know us. We have to have a pre-existing relationship with you. So if this is the first time you're hearing about Sharpline and you are looking to invest in a project like this, but we don't know you, please get to know any one of the principals on this call or anybody of the people that are also raising capital. Get to know Lauren, get to know Krista, get to know Marco, get to know Lindsay, get to know Ramo, anybody. Get to know who we are so that you can invest in the next deal. This is going to be a monthly distribution deal. We'll start that in approximately 3 to 5 months after close. The average cash on cash is going to be about 7.5. This is a typical Sharpline deal. The 15.5% IRR is essentially around what one would consider an annualized return, although IRR is slightly different if anybody out there is sophisticated and knows that, but I want to keep it simple on this investment webinar. It is going to be a double your money in about 5 to 7 years, which is what a 2+ equity multiple is. And yes, there is likely a refi in about 3 years. Go ahead on the next slide. I'll talk
Chris,
about
real quick, you're talking
Go ahead.
about for people to know us in the chat, guys. I'm going to put my cell phone number. Anybody can text me your name, whatever, if you haven't met me, and I can definitely set up a Zoom call with you guys.
The property itself, 60 units, B class, 1988 built. We did do an inspection on this already. Clean bill of health, scoped the lines and everything. Inspected every unit. Our CapEx or rehab money is dialed into some things that we think during our hold will need to be replaced or need to be replaced for sale for the next buyer to be questioning or trying to discount us. So that's why Sharpline, when we get into what we're like allocating as far as a CapEx budget, so that we feel the property is safe and can handle some of the things that are inevitably going to break down on a 1988 building, like HVACs, which are now anywhere from $400 to $6,500. The unit mix on this is fantastic. That's one of the best things. I love it. It's basically an even mix of 1 beds, 2-bed, 1.5 baths that are about 1,000 square feet, which is fantastic. And then a bunch of 3 beds as well. So that's why we can achieve higher average rent, because you have a big cluster in the middle of 2 beds. And you have some 3s also that'll pull it up, enough 3s, 10 of them that will pull up your average rent. About 110,000 a unit, and 110,000 a unit for 1988 product in Kansas side of Kansas City is about 15 to 25% less than about 2 years ago pricing when cap rates were lower. We do self-manage approximately 800 units in what we call the Metro, the Kansas City Metro. So if you hear us call it the Metro, that's what it means, Kansas City. This property is 100% occupied, as I mentioned, and it's had amazingly strong collections. Roofs are in great condition. They probably have 10 to really 15 years left. The balconies are in pretty good shape, but we have CapEx because you are talking about some balconies that do need to be repaired. You're going to have some HVACs that go. Just remember, people, if you have 30 HVACs that go, that's about 150 grand you need sitting around. So Sharpline plans for this. I go to the next slide, please. So where's the opportunity for increase in value? Right here. Number one, it's in a great area that is going to continue to appreciate with population growth. I'm going to jump around. You guys can read. I'll come back to it, but I'm excited about this one. So I'm going to jump around to the things I think are the hot points. Guys, average household income in this area in Johnson County and Spring Hill specifically. Johnson County, it's basically 140,000 average household income. This specific area is 112. If you run some calculations about how much somebody can afford, it's like a 3x multiple on their income. So if a household income is making 112, it's approximately 9,000 a month divided by 3. Somebody can afford 3,000 technically, and we're talking about 1,000 right here. So there's a high demand in this area. We're not pushing that high and getting too crazy, saying that we're going to go super ultra luxury. That's not what we're doing. But we're going to upgrade some of these units, and we're going to test the market on something we've started to do. When you buy right, you don't upgrade. You just raise rents sometimes naturally just on the classics, and we'll see what the market will bear, and that will save us our turn money to last longer. So right now in Spring Hill and in this area, the average rent in the area with all different types of classes is about $12.87. And in our pro forma that's talking about what the projected returns are, it's about getting there in 3 years. So it's there already. And our numbers that we're talking about are saying getting there in 3 years. So when people talk about underwriting and being conservative, that's an element of being conservative. There is an option for refinance, because if we create way more value, which I know we will, and if interest rates stay where they are or potentially go down, we structure the debt such that in 3 years we want to refi, there'll be a minimal prepay penalty, and there'll be a way for us to refinance and capture that equity to either return capital and or increase distributions and things like that. We are using what's called agency debt, the best debt on the planet for the best guarantors on the planet, which is us. And it takes a long time to get there, but it's 30-year amortization debt where you have a couple of years of interest only, which increases cash flow for the first few years. And we're going to use lower leverage. This is going to probably be around 70% loan to value, so it's safer. I mean, as an overall, investors do believe that if you have lower leverage, you are safer. And our returns are commensurate, like their returns are from that lower leverage too. So it's a safe deal. It's not a bridge loan that has an end called a bullet. It's a 7-year deal, so it's fixed for 7 years. So it's a really safe deal with great debt. It's going to cash flow right away, and it's in an area that appreciates. So that's where this upside is. We know that there's a high demand for this product. There were a fair amount of buyers that came out of the woodwork for this one because it was a desirable asset. In fact, there were a few 200 to 300 unit buyers that were looking at this as well because they felt that it was such a good asset. Next slide, please. And basically, why Kansas City? Why this area? I mean, Kansas City has just been really great to us. We've been in a lot of different markets. We were in Atlanta. We are in other markets as well that are doing well for us. But Kansas City is really just such a strong market. We call it the steady Eddie growth market. It's not some of these markets that maybe have these like hockey stick anticipations of appreciation. But what happens with some of those is also they come down. So Kansas City is more steady Eddie. We like that. In Johnson County, there's about 622,000 people. The growth rate of Spring Hill, which is the inside of Johnson County, about 15 minutes south of Olathe. If any of you know the area, Olathe is definitely a desirable area. It's about 15 minutes south of Olathe Medical Center with tons of jobs. There's about 2,700 jobs in the medical field just in that one area of Olathe Medical Center. Look at that population growth right there, 5.44% annually just in Spring Hill, and there's not a lot of product. So that's why it's also 100% occupied. Once again, if the income is high, which is great, Johnson County actually has the highest average household income in Kansas. So this is a desirable area, thus appreciation. There's a tons of different employment. You got Farmers Insurance, Garmin, Olathe Medical Center, public school system, the government. It's just you want these different types of employment. You don't want concentrations of a certain type that maybe can leave, and then you see a dip from the absence of that employer. So a diverse employment base also makes this opportunity amazing. And then if you go to the next slide, in true Sharpline fashion, that's it, folks. We do it quick because we know that everybody gets bored with this stuff, and we also know that inside of our executive summary that's going to be available probably next Tuesday or Wednesday, we pack that executive summary with everything that you're looking for. Rent
Yeah,
comps.
so the executive summary is going to be about 30 pages or so. And then go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. It's packed. It's full packed with everything you're looking at. Sale comps so that you can feel good of that 110 a unit is in line with what is selling even in this change in the market. You'll see that it is, and you'll see that it's a good buy. We'll show you the rent comps. We'll show you the underwriting. We'll show you all the allocations of capital. We'll show you the splits. So it's all there. It also tells you about who Sharpline is. So it's all there for your review. If you are interested, we are getting a ton of interest on this, and it is a smaller deal for Sharpline. So the raise isn't super large, and we've had quite a bit of commitments already. So if you want to go on our site, Sharpline Equity, you'll see invest with us at the top. And there is, for a limited time, there is an opening that you'll see the Spring Hill deal, and you can soft commit. If you want to just soft commit and get your name in there, if you do see something in the executive summary that you don't like, you're not forced to invest, but I would recommend that you get your investments in there because this one's going fast.
First question is, which I know I want you to elaborate on, the estimated close date, please.
Sure. The estimated close date is going to be sometime the end of November or the beginning of December. So we will have all of our commitments way before then, but we will be collecting wires and things like that probably at the end of October or sooner. And then definitely in November, we will be making sure that we have pulled in all of the investments.
And then guys, if you think of any questions, put them on the chat. Another one is minimum investment. Is this one 75K like the others, Chris?
No, this one is, we've set it at 50.
Okay, 50. Okay.
We also do have what's called, Sharpline does do something called a Class C investment, which is kind of weird because it's C and B, but C has higher returns than B if you invest a minimum of 200,000. What we do is we make the splits more advantageous to the
What's cool about this deal is usually we get to the Zoom and we get like a lot of excitement on our other 20 deals that basically we funded like in 2 days right after. This one we got I have about 1.2 million that is in before the Zoom. And I've been doing this, like I said, we did this 19 times because people have been sitting waiting for good deals because of everything that's happened the last couple of years. You know, what's been going on with multifamily. There's a lot of operators that aren't good out there, that they said they had good deals and they don't know how to operate. So, you know, we're feeling things out and seeing interest, and I probably had more interest on this one than all my other deals, and the other deals funded really fast. So it was good to see that. It's exciting to see that.
Lauren, have you been scanning questions? Are there any ones that I can field?
Nope, that was all. If anyone else has more questions, please drop them in the chat, but you've answered the ones that were so far.
Albert, any questions? You usually have questions. Albert is in our JV deal, so I'll call him out and embarrass him in front of 80 people.
He's very thorough.
Indeed. I don't at this time, Chris. But
All
you know,
right.
Chris, it's just a matter of time. You know that.
All right. Just wanted to make sure because you ask a lot of good questions, and I figured I'd throw you on the hot seat.
Thanks. Sorry to absolutely not deliver here, Chris, but in due time I will.
Okay.
Just let me read that 30-page executive summary.
Oh, then you'll have questions. Then
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll be ready for you. I'll block out half a day.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm
I'm
looking over here.
There's a question about the admin fee. The full fee structure will be included in the executive summary.
that it is all there. It's like basically a sources and use. There's each page shows the underwriting, and then you'll see a grid that shows basically all the returns and all the different buckets of capital and where they're being allocated. It's all pretty clear.
We've got some more questions coming in. One more, well, a couple more, sorry. What's the total raise on this one?
It's going to be in the mid threes. And the reason for that is because we are going to put 30% down approximately. And then we are planning to do an upgrade package, and it's not coming from a bridge loan. So it's being sourced from the equity. So that's why it would be a higher raise for purchase price.
There's a question on insurances, Chris. Says what's property insurance projection? Could be a major variable. It's like that gets more expensive. How do you go about it with Sharpline maybe stretching across many communities?
It's actually a good thing for us because given the fact that we don't have many claims that we've used in many years and we have a large unit count, we use State Farm, and they have been really good to us. It depends on the vintage, the year built of the property and the condition of the property which you are purchasing. But we've definitely in our underwriting increased per unit. On this one, it's going to be approximately around 700 that we're projecting. It could be a little higher than that, but we've been pretty good about landing where we need to. But yes, this is also a good reason to invest in Kansas City. I mean, you can't, no place on the planet Earth is going to be immune from its need for insurance, but there was a method to our madness of why we chose Kansas City because of some of these coastal areas that you're seeing for investment that are suffering also from renewals too, like really good purchases that could not have foreseen the multitude of insurance claims that come and then getting non-renewed and forcing insurance into a place that really hurts the property's cash flow performance and value. So Kansas City overall, in comparison to other geographic areas, has less risk.
All right, we have another question. What were expected returns for the last two deals mentioned versus the actual returns?
Well, I mean, we have a bunch of deals that are outperforming. We have deals that have sold and outperformed. We have some deals that, maybe took a little longer, that we had to turn off distributions for a few months and then turn them on. We are refinancing deals too that are part of the business plan to refinance. So we have a fair amount of deals that are chugging along, and the refinance is part of that business plan to achieve what we projected.
If I could just add to that, because you mentioned Carlos, the last two deals, one closed in April and one closed in May of this year.
Okay.
So it's too soon to talk about returns because yes, they're on track with what the Sharpline had laid out for the business plan, but it's too soon to talk about actual returns versus pro forma returns.
Well, let's see. We have one deal that closed in May, that was expected to turn on distributions, and we believe that it will turn on distributions in a month. We have a deal that was not supposed to turn on distributions for a year, and that year is here, and we're turning on distributions. And yeah, when we could have refinanced a few deals last year, but that would have been poor decision making because we should not have refied it to high rates. Maybe it delayed about a year for some refinance, but that's happened across the board in the commercial real estate market. And you want operators like us to be thoughtful about when the best time to refi is. Will rates go down from here? Maybe. If they do, we would certainly take advantage of them on the ones that are in a timeline to refi. And that's part of the business plan. So, I mean, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7 deals refining, we're on our business plan.
Yeah, so I have 6 or 7 deals refining with Chris next year as we delayed them, and I actually have 3 of my personal deals refining also, which I could have refied them last year. But once again, there's no when you encounter the situation we encountered in that market cycle where the rates just took off and went up, is you have to, go along with what the government's doing and change your business plan and be patient. Yeah, multifamily is a game of patience and analyzing where you are in the market cycle to make your decisions.
Another question, does the financing include renovating of every unit, or is there a target number of units that you plan to renovate?
Good question.
We have enough to renovate every unit once, but I think what we will do is probably end up not renovating all of them because we are going to get our rent increases given the fact it's 100% occupied, probably not putting money into a fair amount of these units. And in true value add style, you don't really want to renovate all of your units for a sale in 5 to 7 years because your next buyer does want to see that there has been what's called meat on the bone left. So that we won't renovate every unit, but there is a blended number that we use as an average for all the units.
Great. Someone just asked, I'm going to reply in the chat on that, but are there any other questions that Chris or the team can answer?
I see, what is it, average? Can I get a copy of that slide that shows projected returns and fees? Was there a slide that had fees?
No, there
it's-
wasn't.
Well,
No,
actually, I'll just this PowerPoint gets uploaded to the InvestNext portal. So the tear sheets there, this will get uploaded. The actual PowerPoint will get uploaded. Give it till tomorrow, or then usually by the end of the day, the next day we have this presentation
Yeah,
converted
Lauren,
to YouTube.
make a note of the names just in case they don't go on there. Like, write down Sunny, and I'll give you the email. And we make sure we get them to make sure they get the executive summary with everything. Okay.
Yeah, all these are copied. The whole webinar is put in the portal, and then probably next Tuesday and Wednesday will be ready for the executive summary, and that copy will be there for you.
Another question from Patricia Park, who's invested in a number of Sharpline deals. What's the average term remaining on existing leases?
I would not be able to. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have no idea what the answer is to that on 1,500 units. Because you think about it, you have so many people that have moved in, moved out. Probably on 1,500 units, 6 months. Half.
I think she means this deal.
This deal, Chris.
This deal, guys, we're in the
on
middle
this
of
deal?
due diligence, but we're still in the middle of due diligence and in the middle of the lease audit.
Oh, I thought you meant I think you meant 1,500 units on this particular deal.
No. But you
She
still
wants to know
can't
when
answer
they're
the question
turnable.
because we're still heavily reviewing all the documents, including doing a lease audit. So can answer that in probably a week.
Chris,
Patricia,
I know this, that they've had like a 70% renewal rate. So it's 100% occupied with people not moving out and with a 0.5 point of delinquency. These are people that want to stay and are paying. They're staying and paying.
Question. So if you already mentioned who will be the lender on this property, and have you worked with them before?
Yes, the answer is this is an agency product. It is Freddie Mac, and we are one of the, I don't know if there actually is a category, but we've been told that it is actually a category. We've We are one of their premier
Premier.
guarantors.
Mir.
And I would say we've worked with them 11 times already.
And they ask for a lot of papers.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but they're the best dad on the planet Earth.
And Krista keeps emailing me for more papers and papers and signatures, but we're there.
It's not easy to get to, because what's great is that you get to rate lock at application. So we have not rate locked yet. I assume that it'll be somewhere in the range of 5.6 to 5.8.5, 5.9. It's fluctuating a lot right now with spreads and the 10-year treasury, but in that zone is where we are running our numbers with some tolerances, obviously. But yeah, it's not easy to get this type of debt, and we are those guarantors because we have a 10-year track record. Anybody else?
No other questions in the chat right now?
So guys, if you don't think of them tonight, or sometimes people don't like to ask questions, live, Lauren's available all the time. I'm available all the time. My number's right there. Lauren's email was there. Just, reach out to us. And we're going to be sending out the executive summary to everybody that's on here, and take a look at it.
All right.
Let's see, Sharpline part of the Marco. No. The Marco group is, I don't know what the Marco group is. Let me see.
I think it means
MIH. She's probably talking about MIH.
Yeah, Laura, so I'm new to this group. No problem. Yeah, no problem. So, MIH Mastermind is my education platform. Chris was a friend in, we became friends about 2016, 17, and he joined my community. And that's how me and Chris really, because in 2006, this is a good story, I guess. So to end it with this, in 2016, I met Chris from a mutual friend in my brother's program. And as soon as I met him on the phone, I knew right away. I said, you know what? I'm busy doing deals with my brother, and you're busy doing deals with what you're doing. I said, one day I would like to do a deal with you, but to partner, I actually teach the partnership masterclass. I knew I had to get to know him. So the day things changed was in 2020, I started this mastermind where I have 280 students that I mentor. Chris calls me and says, listen, tell me about your mastermind. And I didn't know he was interested. So I said, yeah, I'll tell you about it. And if you want to start doing, he goes, no, I want to join. So I stopped and I said, if you join, I need to be around you because we need to get to know each other, because to become partners, you really got to become intimate and check each other's work ethic and see if you could stand each other, basically. But he has a super high level of work ethic. So do I. I'm nonstop engaged 7 days a week. I had 2 restaurants, which I sold, and I own 47 deals. So that's when he joined the mastermind, we got to know each other and we did our first deal together the right way. We really got to know each other well. Too many people are partnering too fast, and I teach this. And that's when you see a good deal go bad, is because a partnership doesn't run well. So we did our first deal 2020 in COVID when people thought we were crazy together. I had other deals. January, February, March, April, I think it was maybe April.
Mm-hmm.
And beautiful deal that we have, cash flowing since day one. And it took off from there. And we tested each other out. We're like, hey, let's do a deal together, because friends are friends. But once you get to work together, that changes. Business is business. And
we're still here.
Yeah, and we still like each other.
Albert just interjected with a question. I believe 15.5% figure for the IRR is a few weeks old prior to the rate cut. Is there a potential for higher IRR through a lower interest rate, depending on where it settles, as you noted?
If you see the projections, we sometimes post our projections that are actually higher than, say, 15.5. But the thing is, though, they were based on knowing that we would get it between 5.7 and 5.9-ish, like I said. So it's in that range. I don't want to say, like, do you want me to tell you 16.5 and that's going to make it feel better? Like, I don't. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
I don't know how sensitive it is.
yeah. Like, so you may actually see in our projections that we say 15.9 or 16.1. So yeah, there is a sensitivity to that that's going to change it.
Yeah, got it. Cool. Hopefully it settles lower than where the original.
Yeah, I
model
mean,
was.
we did have a spike recently. Like that's why I don't want to.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, sure.
it is difficult to time rate lock, but we do time rate lock with our application. It is bouncing around a little bit right now, but I mean, we have a refi right now on one that's 5.58. I don't know if we're gonna hit that, but that was a pretty killer timing on my part. I'm gonna on that one.
Nice. Hoping you do it again, Chris.
Yeah, let's do it. Tell Jerome to get to work.
Cool. Thanks, Chris.
All right.
There's no more questions in the chat.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate you. We really do appreciate all of you repeat Sharpline investors and to all the new ones that have spent time getting to know us that want to be a part of this. We look forward to developing our relationship with you.
Thanks, guys.
you.
Please reach out. Don't wait. This is gonna close up fast, and we're looking to do 1 or 2 good ones next year. Not too many, because we're being careful, and but we should have some good things going on. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, guys.